everyone, and welcome to yet another movie ranking. Being that I have finally watched the latest Wrong Turn film, I am now ready to rank these bad boys, so time to dive in as I rank the Wrong Turn films from worst to best. In 7th place is Wrong Turn 6 Last Resort. Released in 2014, directed by Valerie Milev and written by Frank H. Woodward, it's the 6th installment in the Wrong Turn series, and in it, an inheritance leads a young man and his friends to an abandoned resort inhabited by two sketchy caretakers and a clan of mutant cannibals. Without a doubt the absolute worst in the series, it doesn't remotely make sense or fit with the others. It steps even further away from the mutant aspect but sticks to the inbreeding. I don't know any person in their life who is so down on their luck that when long lost relatives come along and say, "Join us and eat people and screw your cousin," that they just go, "Sure, no worries." If I could give this negative marks, I would. It is so far removed from people who became mutants and cannibals due to pollution, isolation, and forced inbreed, so the family now tripling in size, having access to property and money, and their youngest members of the family aren't mutants for reasons that make no sense. Nothing in this film works. The lead character is such a dumbass. He was fine with his friends being killed, and he dumped his very supportive, very good-looking girlfriend for his good-looking cousin he just met because unemployment sucks. Are you kidding me? In 6th place is Wrong Turn 5 Bloodlines, released in 2012, directed and written by Declan O'Brien. It is the 5th installment in the Wrong Turn series, and entered a group of college students on a trip to the Mountain Man Festival on Halloween in West Virginia encounter a clan of cannibals. This shit is just way out of hand. Our mutant hillbillies just look like weak imitations of what we've seen in previous films. The kills are so over the top and elaborate with traps and triggers that it feels more like a Saw movie than a Wrong Turn movie. Plus it focuses more on a hillbilly who isn't a mutant at all. So much of this movie breaks from the point of the franchise. Either way, it just sucks. It painfully sucks, and once again opens with a sex scene. It sounds hypocritical to hate this film for its style of kills when over the top and elaborate is what I love about the Hatchet films. It's just that in the context of these films, the traps don't make much sense anymore. The traps seem too advanced for mutants and using equipment I highly doubt they can afford the parts for. In 5th place is Wrong Turn 4 Bloody Beginnings, released in 2011 and written and directed by Declan O'Brien. It's the 4th installment in the Wrong Turn series, and in it a group of college students get lost in a storm during their snowmobiling trip and take shelter in an abandoned sanitarium, which, unbeknownst to them, is home to 3 deformed cannibals. It's terrible. The story randomly puts these mutant cannibals in a sanitarium and calls it a prequel when none of these things actually link up to the previous movies or make a lick of sense. The characters are all a pack of assholes or morons, and the film opens with 2 couples having sex in the same room. What does this achieve? Nothing! It just feels it has so little to contribute that it has to give audiences nudity and sex right off the bat in hopes the movie will appeal to someone. Not to mention, this is a film series that most definitely did not need a prequel, but creating one that erases not only the point but main theme of the first film is just a film being a jerk to its own franchise. I think some of the kills are fun, but overall you really want most if not all of the characters to die for being idiots and jerks, and what's the point of a film where you have no one to root for or care about? In 4th place is Wrong Turn, also known as Wrong Turn The Foundation, released in 2021. It's directed by Mike P. Nelson and written by Alan B. McElroy. It's the 7th film in the Wrong Turn series and a reboot of the entire series. In it, friends hiking the Appalachian Trail are confronted by the Foundation, a community of people who have lived in the mountains for hundreds of years. This is a boring, dull, lifeless film with interesting themes and subjects, but it destroys those themes and subjects when it creates a plot point that contradicts them in the worst way, which makes establishing them entirely pointless. On top of that, the film has like 3 endings. It cannot decide when to end, and so it just keeps ending the film, then giving another scene, then ending, then another scene. Just pick an ending and stick to it. The acting is fine, the camera work is fine, the scenery is fine, the special effects are fine, the editing is fine. The technical aspects of making this movie were perfectly fine. It's the story that sucked. It was so boring, and by the end of it, I'm not sure what the point of it was. What was it going for? With the original, by the end, things made sense. I can't say that with this. This series didn't need a reboot, but to make one and then create this, I can't believe it, but it actually makes the previous films way more interesting to watch, even the ones that suck. It's bad enough when your story is conflicting, but when it's boring, I just can't forgive that. In third place is Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead, released in 2009. It's directed by Declan O'Brien and written by Connor James Delaney, and is the third installment in the Wrong Turn series. When their transfer bus crashes in a West Virginia forest, a group of convicts and a corrections officer meet a rafter who is on the run from cannibalistic hillbillies who have murdered her friends. The plot feels like the opening of a joke. A group of convicts and a corrections officer walk into a bar. Anyway, this film made me laugh non-stop. Was it actually funny? Not remotely. The practical and special effects are so bad. Even the barbed wire made me laugh because you can tell from looking at it that it was foam. This was just so poorly done. Add that to the senseless nudity and a bunch of annoying characters. This, ladies and gentlemen, should have been Left 4 Dead. I've seen effects masters create masterpieces using things you find around the home, but the effects in this film are just so incredibly lazy. In second place is Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, released in 2007. It's directed by Joe Lynch and written by Tori Meyer. It's the second installment in the Wrong Turn series and sees a group of reality show contestants find themselves fighting for their survival against a family of hideously deformed inbred cannibals who plan to ruthlessly butcher them all. It's not as terrible as what followed, but it is still a step down from the first movie. However, it's still a watchable film with some somewhat intelligent characters, but it is all downhill from here. Thank God for Henry Rollins though. The man is just awesome. I love him at anything he does, to be honest, but you can tell he had fun with this film. I appreciate that in this film they've given their characters emotional and psychological hurdles that they have to overcome, which actually shows that someone actually put some thought into this script, which is more than I can say for the other films. It's not great, but it's an okay time. And in first place is Wrong Turn, released in 2003. It's directed by Rob Schmidt and written by Alan B. McElroy, and is the first film in the Wrong Turn series. In it, 6 people find themselves trapped in the woods of West Virginia, hunted down by cannibalistic mountain men grossly disfigured through generations of inbreeding. The only good film in the franchise, mostly because it doesn't have to rely on sex or nudity to do its job. It just gives a disturbing story that has a good start, solid progression, and good performances. It has intelligent characters, and they had, even to a degree, humanized our cannibals, which makes them more disturbing. The later films took away a lot of their humanity and made them so unbelievable that it made them less disturbing. This one tries to give you reasons why you can believe this might be real so you can get a better reaction from it. It also helps that we have a really strong lead in Eliza Dushku. Also clever contextual add-ins to tell you a lot about the story without going through exposition to do it, which I appreciate. Actually, after watching the reboot, I appreciate this one even more. And there you have my ranking of the Wrong Turn films. I'm really only a fan of the first 2, especially the first one. Everything after that is a bit of a chore to watch. But these are just my thoughts, so please do not take offense. But now it's your turn. Comment down below on how you would rank these films if you have seen them all, which is your favorite and why. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again to my amazing patrons and supporters. That is it for this video, but I hope to see you in my next one. So be safe, watch movies, and until then, bye!